Welcome aboard Crazy News Reacts right here every day. A video, a short, and usually we have live streams at 8 p.m. Hit the like button, very, very important. Share, subscribe, tell your friends about it, but most of all, watch. I think you're going to love it because you can't get this anywhere else, right? This is genuine debate, conversation, and comments. Let's get right to it. Data indicates there could be up to 700 serial killer semi-truck drivers crisscrossing the country at any given point in time. The FBI believes that these serial killers exist because of their coveted job. Let's check it out.
Murderous truck drivers prowling the nation's highways for victims have become familiar villains, really, in TV shows and movies.
In fact, the percentage of long-haul truckers who become murderers is small. But according to the FBI, there are likely hundreds of homicidal truck drivers on our roads who have never been caught.
Many of them have driven across Nevada and have left a bloody trail behind them. Tonight, Chief Investigator George Knapp takes a deeper dive into how victims are targeted, and some of this information, it is graphic.
86-year-old Reno resident Patrick Carnes was driving in tandem with a long-haul trucker along I-80 when he vanished forever back in 2011. His car was found in the same out-of-the-way field where 62-year-old Judith Casita's vehicle was found 5 years earlier. She, too, was never seen again. Nevada lawmen came to suspect that a serial killer trucker, possibly two, were picking off victims along I-80.
And this was actually where the vehicle was.
I've seen some gruesome things in 25 years as an FBI agent, really gory crime scenes.
Former FBI Assistant Director Frank Figluzzi says the two missing Nevadans are not typical targets for serial killer truckers. Most of the known victims are younger women, either sex workers or hitchhikers. Figluzzi learned about the killers and their most likely victims by digging into a bureau program called the Highway Serial Killings Initiative, established in 2009, and learned even more by riding shotgun with truckers over thousands of miles, research that produced his best-selling book, Long Haul. By studying known murders, missing persons, and truckers themselves, the FBI estimates there could be 450 long-haul truckers who are serial killers, probably more. Many are sexual predators. Some just like to kill.
One indeed likes to control the outcome and loves the power and will prolong torture, rape, and other horrors. But the other one, George, the other kind of serial killer, simply wants to kill. He enjoys that power of life and death, and he kills quickly.
He's killing because he's lonely?
The specter of a mass murderer rumbling down the highway in a multi-ton traveling crime scene has been used in several TV shows and in movies, including the thriller Suspect Zero. But sometimes it spills out too close to home. Truck driver Chester Todd was suspected by the FBI of multiple rapes and murders of women, but he went on the run in 1996 and didn't surface until 2011 in Las Vegas, where he'd been living under an assumed name. Another serial killer truck driver, Wayne Allen Ford, had a severed breast in his pocket when he turned himself in to California police in 1998. He admitted to 4 murders. 3 of his victims had been dismembered. The body of one victim, 26-year-old Tina Gibbs of Las Vegas, was found in Northern California, not far from Ford's home. One of the most vile of the trucker killers is Robert Ben Rhodes, who built a torture chamber in his truck. Rhodes murdered 2 couples he picked up hitchhiking, one in Utah, one in Texas, and is suspected of dozens of other murder-torture sagas.
There's some of the most heinous crimes and criminals in the book, including Robert Ben Rhodes, who picked up a 14-year-old girl hitchhiking, hooked her up from fish hooks inside his torture chamber in his rig. Over the course of several weeks across many states, raped and tortured her, leaving her for dead in an abandoned farmhouse.
The most common and most vulnerable pool of victims are the so-called lot lizards, which is the crude name drivers use for the sex workers who ply their trade in the nation's truck stops. Figluzzi met and interviewed many of them for his book, including a few who survived their attacks, and knows that educating these women about the dangers is tough. Many of them have drug addictions and poor judgment, move around a lot, don't let family know where they are, so no one is likely to report them missing. Figluzzi also wrote his book to educate cops about the FBI initiative. The Nevada lawmen working on the Pat Carnes case had no idea there's an FBI database they could have accessed.
If I have one message to any law enforcement officer listening, it's get your unsolved cases, especially involving roadside killings, into the FBI's database.
The trucking industry has embraced the effort to find and weed out killer truckers and has installed tracking devices on most corporate-owned rigs. But Puglisi notes some drivers have learned how to skirt those precautions, and he says there are hundreds of thousands of independent truckers who drive their own rigs and are not being monitored as they cruise along those long stretches of dark and empty highways. George Knapp, 8 News Now.
Disturbing stuff. We put more information on the highway serial killer database on our website. You can also find part 1 of that report at 8newsnow.com.
The typical target of trucker serial killers are young women, either sex workers or hitchhikers, and that's according to the FBI's Highway Serial Killers Initiative. Yes, they have that. Although they think it's closer to 450. That's some scary ass shit. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you right back here tonight with Ryan for the Crazy Podcast. And that's all I've really got to say to y'all for right now.